Religious accommodations. So what do you have to do if you want a religious accommodation for religion? First, you have to put your employer on notice that there's a conflict between your religion and work. The Supreme Court in Groff versus DeJoy, the issue there was that the employee did not want to work on Sunday because the employee said that working on Sundays conflicted with his religion. So you have to put the employer on notice. You do not have to use any kind of magical words such as I need a religious accommodation. However, in practice, I do think you do need to say that. I think you do need to say that I need an accommodation for my religion, because then it eliminates any kind of argument that the employer did not know that you needed a religious accommodation. Number 2, the employer and employee have to have an interactive discussion. What kind of accommodations enable the employee to do the job with a reasonable accommodation? The employee should cooperate with an employer's requests for additional information. The employer also has a right to clarify the request. Number 3, they have to offer an effective religious accommodation unless it poses an undue hardship. It's not a reasonable accommodation if it does not eliminate the conflict between the religion and the job. The employer does not have to offer the accommodation that the employee wants. If there are multiple accommodations that can accomplish the same purpose, so long as those accommodations are effective, then the employer can choose. It's a case-by-case analysis. It's very fact-intensive. It is a fact-specific determination. Some examples could be scheduling changes, voluntary substitutes for shift swaps, a change of job tasks or a lateral transfer, modifying workplace practices, policies, and procedures, facial hair, religious garb, use of the employer's facilities, to allow prayer and other forms of religious expression, the display of religious objects by the employee, prayer at meetings, a religious objection to a training program. One thing to note is that it has to be a sincerely held religious belief. For example, in this TSA case, the commission found an employee's vaccination status did not qualify as religious discrimination. If you require a religious accommodation, make sure you at least follow these minimum steps of letting your employer know that you require religious accommodation, engage in the interactive process, and come up with alternatives.